the greatest. The sun is one star. One star. There are stars out there which are millions of times bigger than the sun. You tell me this, that you need millions and millions of stars to make one galaxy. And then you tell me this, that there are zillions of galaxies out there. Let me tell you on top of this, my young friend, after this, whatever you see above, when you raise your head and you look above, whatever you see above, the zillions and zillions and zillions of galaxies, let me tell you, everything there is within the first heaven. Everything there is within the first heaven, and Allah is the creator of 7 heavens. 7 heavens. And the distance between the first heaven and the second heaven is 500 years. You know, the distance that can be covered in 500 years, at what speed? Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows. But it will take 500 years to get from the first heaven to the second heaven. 500 years from the second to the third, third to the fourth, fourth to the fifth, fifth to the sixth, sixth to the seventh. Every time it will take 500 years. After the 7 heavens, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. You all read the Ayatul Kursi. You all know the Ayatul Kursi. After this you have the Kursi of Allah. You have the chair of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know these 7 heavens that we've just talked about, in comparison to the Kursi of Allah, they're non-existent. They're meaningless. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given an example in a hadith, just to give us a little bit of understanding with regards to the 7 heavens in comparison to the Kursi of Allah. Take a ring from your finger, take it off, the small ring that you have, and place it, let's say, in a desert, the Sahara Desert. It's the biggest desert in the world. You know that ring that we take off from our fingers and place it in the Sahara Desert? What comparison is in between the ring and the Sahara Desert? Nothing. Nothing. The 7 heavens is the ring, and the Kursi of Allah is the Sahara Desert. After the Kursi of Allah, my young friends, you have the Arsh of Allah. وَكَانَ أَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. You have the Arsh of Allah. Again, Rasulullah has explained, so just so that we can understand. Take the ring, place it in the desert. This time, the ring is the Kursi and the Arsh is the desert. What is the Kursi in comparison to the Arsh of Allah? Nothing. Then you have angels which carry the Arsh of Allah. Their heads are in the 7th heaven and their feet are in the lowest earth. My friends, then you have the Lord of the Arsh and Kursi. لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار وهو اللطيف الخبير. He is beyond the size of Allah, who Allah is, what Allah is. The greatness of Allah is beyond the comprehension of my little mind. This is the being that you and I are messing with. And if he classes you as an enemy, then my friend, he will make you pay like none other. He will make you pay like none other. And when Allah sends the angel of death, he says to him, bring him to me. I showered him with blessings. I gave him his provisions in abundance. Whatever he asked for, I gave him, and I gave him more. Look at the blessings of Allah upon you, my young friend. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَظُلُومٌ كَفَّارٌ. If you and I were to count the blessings of Allah, we were to spend our entire life just counting the blessings of Allah upon us, I swear by Allah, our lives would come to an end, but we will not be able to count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how much blessings Allah has given us. Look at the provisions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Look at what is our disposal. You know, whereas at this moment in time I address you and you listen to this reminder, you have people in Afghanistan, you have people in Kashmir, you have people in Chechnya, you have people in Palestine, you have people in different corners of Africa. My friends, they are begging the Almighty Allah and they don't even know where their next morsel will come from. They do not know where their next morsel will come from, and their minds are only occupied, Ya Allah, where's this next morsel going to come from? They don't know whether they will be continuing, whether they'll be able to breathe in 5 seconds or not. This is their concern. Whereas you and I, Allah has blessed so much. Allah has blessed us so much in this country. You know, tomorrow morning when you wake up for your breakfast and you desire to have cereal, my young friend, Allah has blessed us so much that tomorrow morning when you wake up and you desire a cereal, my friend, Allah has blessed you so much that you're in a position, if you want cornflakes for your breakfast, you're in a position to have cornflakes. If you decide, no, not cornflakes, I want Weetabix, you're in a position to have Weetabix. If you don't want Weetabix, you want Cocoa Pops, my young friend, you're in a position to have Cocoa Pops. You're in a position to have Rice Krispies. You're in a position to have hundreds and different cereals. You know what? If you don't want cereal and you decide, look, today I want biscuits, how many different types of biscuits are at your disposal? You know what? If you decide to have juice instead, look at the different juices that are at your disposal. If you decide to have a hot liquid, you decide to have tea, coffee, how many different drinks are at your disposal? This is just for breakfast. Who can deny this? Which individual sitting here or listening to this lecture, wherever may be in this world, my friends, can deny these blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Then on top of this, my friends, the hands with which we touch, the feet with which we walk, the tongue that does the talking, the mouth with which we eat, the ears with which we hear, the eyes with which we see. Look at these countless blessings of Allah. You know, we've taken them for granted. This is why we don't value them. You know, if in this gathering here and now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to take just one of His blessings, I swear by Allah, this is when you and I will realize the blessing of Allah. You're talking to me at this moment, and I'm talking to you. You're listening to me. The thought has never crossed your mind, or my mind for that sake, that Allah can take away these blessings. You haven't prepared for this. This thought did not come to your mind before you came in this gathering. You're looking at me, I'm looking at you, and you know what? Whilst you're looking at me and I'm looking at you, all of a sudden Allah's taken away your eyesight. Now there's total darkness in front of you. What do you think will happen? What do you think, my young friend? See if you can ponder this in your mind's eye. You're in this gathering at this moment in time, you're listening to what I'm saying, you're looking at me, and all of a sudden you cannot see me. You know what will happen? You'll quickly open your eyes again. Okay, what's happened? To see if I can see. But again, no, it's darkness. Now what you'll do is, you'll start looking to your right. Is the darkness just at the front? So you look to the right, and now you're panicking, you're sweating, you haven't uttered anything to anyone. You begin to look to your right, it's darkness again. You look into your left, there's darkness again. Now, my friend, you will feel in a manner like you never felt in your entire life. You will begin to panic. You know, water will literally drip from your body. I swear by Allah, within a zillionth of a second, from a totally independent person, you came in this gathering not even thinking this, not even imagining this. You were the biggest out of the big. Do you understand? From a totally independent person, you will leave as a totally dependent one. Never mind getting outside to your home. I swear by Allah, you will not be able to leave this gathering without the assistance and help of your Muslim brother. And now, if you were a multi-billionaire and you possessed $1 billion, and this thing called eyesight was sold on the market, I'm prepared to swear by Allah that you will spend your billions just so that you can buy one blessing which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. In comparison to this eyesight, the billions that are in your account will be meaningless. Look at Allah, how Allah showered us with blessings. This is why Allah will say, I gave him everything. I gave him blessings upon blessings. You never asked for them. Tell me, my young friend, when was the last time you ever raised your hand and you thanked Allah for these eyes? When was the last time you ever raised your hand and you thanked Allah for all these blessings that He gave you? My friends, you didn't ask for them, but you know what? He was the Arhamur Rahimeen, the Akramul Akrameen, the Ajwadul Ajwadeen. Without you asking, without you begging, without you prostrating, He would give, He would give, He would give, and He would watch you turning your back on Him, becoming blind and deaf to His teachings. You had time for everything. You had time to watch the Liverpool game. You had time to go and chill with your friends. You had time to wine and dine. But the only thing and being that you didn't have time for the one that gave you these zillions and zillions of blessings. And He waited. He allowed you to make tawbah, because He accepts tawbah. He embraces those that turn to Him. Till when? Before the soul comes out of your body. He was waiting patiently. Maybe Abdullah today will embrace me. Indeed, he's lived 99 years of sin. Maybe today he will embrace me. Maybe today he will turn to me. But Abdullah didn't. He was still arrogant. Right till death do his part. Allah will say, now bring him. His time's come to an end. He lived a life of sin. He didn't believe. He rejected. Bring him to me today and I will punish him like none other. The angel of death will now go. You think the angel of death will wait? It's the Lord of the Arsh and Kursi. Kun fayakun. When He says happens, it happens. فَيَنْطَلِقُ إِلَيْهِ مَلَكَ الْمَوْتِ فِي أَقْرَهِ سُورَةٍ مَا رَآهُ أَحَدٌ مِّنَ النَّاسِ لَهُ إِثْنَةَ عَشَرَةَ عَيْنًا وَمَعَ سَفُودٍ مِّن نَّارٍ كَثِيرُ الشَّوْكِ. The angel of death will go. He will have 12 eyes. لَهُ إِثْنَةَ عَشَرَةَ عَيْنًا وَمَعَ سَفُودٍ مِّن نَّارٍ. He will carry a forked mace made out of fire. This mace will have plenty of forks and it will be made out of fire. My friends, He will have with Him وَمَعُ 500 مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. 500 angels will accompany the angel of death. He will assume the most horrifying and frightening form any human has ever seen. 500 angels are with Him. What will they bring? مَعَهُمْ نُحَاسٌ. They will bring a piece of copper. وَجَمَرٌ مِّن جَمَرِ جَهَنَّمْ. They will bring huge embers of Jahannam. وَمَعُهُمْ سِيَاطٌ مِّن نَّارٍ. Ta'ajjaj. They will bring with them scourges of fire. They will bring with them whips of fire. This is how He will come to receive the soul of the enemy of the Lord of the Arsh and Kursi. Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala relates that on one occasion, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam asked the angel of death. He said, "O angel of death, show me the form that you assume when you come to take the soul of a good believer, the sons of the Akhirah, the followers of Rasulullah, the lovers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tell me, how do you take their soul?" So the angel of death said, "Ibrahim, turn your face away." He turned his face away. After a short while, he looks at the angel of death, and what does he find? He finds a very handsome young man, beautiful of face, beautiful clothing, sweet smell emitting from his body. When Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam saw such a handsome sight, he said to the angel of death, "O angel of death, لو لم يلقى المؤمن من السرور شيئا سوى وجهك لكفاه." If this was the only blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store for a believer, just looking at the beauty of your face that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, that would be sufficient. Ibrahim said, "Okay, now," Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam said to the angel of, "Now I want you to show me the form that you assume when you take the soul of a disobedient servant of Allah." The angel of death said to Ibrahim, "Ibrahim, no. لا تطيق ذلك. Even though that you're a great Nabi of Allah, you will not be able to tolerate this, O Ibrahim." Ibrahim insisted, alayhi salam. Looked away. After a short while, he looks again. What does he see? What he saw was a man, black of face, dark black clothing. His head is in the heaven. His feet is on the earth. His body is covered with hair. Under every hair there are flames of fire which are leaping. Flames of fire coming out of his nostrils. Flames of fire coming out of his mouth. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam couldn't tolerate this. He fainted. When he finally gained consciousness, He turned round to the angel of death and said, if this was the only punishment that Allah has in store for a dying servant that is disobedient, then that would be sufficient. No other punishment would be required for him. So this is how the angel of death comes to receive this person. Black face, black clothing, flames coming out of his nose, flames coming out of his mouth, flames leaping from every hair. He has in his hand a forked mace made out of fire. 500 angels that accompany him. They have with them piece of copper, huge embers of Jahannam, and each angel is carrying whips